Welcome to my channel BornToReddit. Am I the a-hole for not giving my food to my aunt? I'm 17 male. I really like cooking and I'm very good at it. I wish to become a professional chef when I grow up and have already written a cookbook. Everybody in my family knows this about me, and on several occasions I have made, with help from my sister, meals for family gatherings. That said, I do not like sharing my food. Once I take food onto my plate, I don't like anybody else eating from my plate. I love food and always make enough so that I will feel full. If other people are going to eat, I do make extra. However, I enjoy taking a full plate serving of my favorite dishes and like to finish it all. My parents know this, and so does my sister. Usually nobody else asks for me to share my food with them. Yesterday my mother and aunt went out for dinner, and I was home alone. I made some crock-pot spaghetti and meatballs and sat down to eat in front of the television. After 5 minutes my mom and aunt came back home. I asked them how dinner was and they said it was fine. My aunt saw me eating spaghetti and told me how mouth-watering my food is. I thanked her and continued to eat. She kept eyeing my plate as I was eating and I felt a little uncomfortable. My mom saw this and said, "Hey, why don't you give some to Aunt Meg?" I chuckled and said, "Oh sorry, there's none left. If I'd have known you wanted it I could have made more." My aunt said, "That's okay, you can just give me half of yours." I was a little taken aback and looked at my mom, but she nodded at me urging me to give her my food. I said, "Didn't you guys have dinner already?" She said, "Yes, but you know I can't control myself around your food, haha." She even went to the kitchen and got a plate and fork for herself and was coming to where I was sitting to take food from me. I stood up and said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go finish this in my room," went to my room and locked the door and finished my food. By the time I came out my aunt was gone and my mother was very mad at me for disrespecting her like that. Was I in the wrong here? Edit, holy frick lol, thanks for the upvotes. I just want to say that I'm not overweight, I'm 6 feet tall and weigh 63 kgs, so I'm definitely not overweight. And I cooked in a 1.5 quart and made just enough to feed myself. And also I'm still in school, so I live with my parents and they buy the groceries. You guys need to stop sending me messages about how I'm fat and greedy. I'm not fat, and even if I was, it doesn't matter. I do not like that you all are body shaming me despite not even knowing what my body looks like. Stop fat shaming my aunt too. Although she was acting greedy, that does not mean you get to shame her. Please stop. NTA. Joey doesn't share food. Edit, while my first gold. Thank you for the awards, kind Redditors. I am a fellow Joey. Touch my food and lose a hand. Touch my food and take a fork to the hand. I've done that twice as an adult after giving warnings. I have done this too, with warnings. The person trying to take my food was doing it on purpose, knowing I didn't share food or like it being stolen from my plate. Don't think he expected me to actually follow through with my warning. Insert his shocked Pikachu face. Not the a-hole. She didn't get the hints, plural. Your mother should not have offered your food to the piggy aunt. Maybe aunt can't control herself around your food, but you can. I would ask mother exactly how not giving aunt food from your plate is disrespectful of aunt, but aunt literally taking food from your plate after she just finished a meal, and so was clearly not as hungry as you is disrespectful. Am I the a-hole for arguing with my fiancée and refusing to let her niece be the flower girl instead of my sister? Mine, male 23, and my fiancée's, female 22, wedding is this month. Wedding planning has been literally a nightmare. Her mom keeps stomping boundaries and changes any plans we come up with to have a decent wedding and not let me ruin it and embarrass her. Her mom thinks I'm a kid, she calls me son, and it's so annoying and inappropriate. My fiancé is the youngest in the family, and I'm the youngest son-in-law in the family, that's why I got this nickname. Anyways, my fiancé and I already discussed and decided to have my 9-year-old sister be the flower girl. She has mild cerebral palsy, but she's functioning and does good at school. She's had people make comments about her, and she's very sensitive, so she'd get upset because of these inconsiderate people's comments. My sister's is on cloud 9 ever since she was told she will be the flower girl. She got her dress and so far she's tried it on more than 5 times asking me when I'm going to have the wedding, which is sweet. Thing is, my fiance came to tell me last week that we will be making changes in terms of menu/invitation cards because her mom recommended other things instead of what we agreed on. According to her mom, I have no idea what a good decent wedding looked like and wanted to save us, herself, from embarrassment. I let it go. And didn't say anything. Because my fiance told me these are small issues, and that I needed to go with the flow. Okay, no problem, but to suggest that we picked the wrong girl to be the flower girl was the straw that broke the camel's back. She actually said she wasn't sure how my sister will behave at the wedding, and that we shouldn't take chance and just pick her niece instead. I told her no, not gonna happen. Like I gave my parents and my sister my word. No way I'm going to make her upset and sad and let the niece take her place. My fiance threw a fit and said I was overreacting. That my sister still gets to wear her dress, but sit with the crowd instead of walking down the aisle. We've been arguing over this the whole week and I'm now supposed to call her and say okay, but I refused and I'm standing my ground and wanting my sister to be the flower girl despite what others say because this offends me and my family. Edit, people say that we can have more than one flower girl, but my mother-in-law doesn't think my sister should even be included as one. She wants her sitting like a guest the whole time thinking she might misbehave, where in fact my sister isn't like that at all. She's well behaved and smart, even better than other kids. My fiance seems to agree since she wants me to say yes. OP, my dude. Listen to how your fiance is speaking about your sister. Think about how you're going to be stuck with that MIL for your entire marriage, and think of how either your wife is bending over backwards to please her or agrees with all this ridiculousness. You think this is just about a wedding? You really think that all this capitulation isn't setting a standard for how you and your opinions will be treated in the future? You need to sit your fiancé down, alone, and have a long conversation about her behavior, and that in no way at all is it acceptable for her mother to be acting like this, for your fiancé to let her walk all over you both, and most importantly that your fiancé is not ever going to speak about your sister like that again. Your sister is 9 years old. She is a young, impressionable child who has more than enough shit to deal with as it is, more than any child deserves to. Are you going to bring your fiancé into the family, around your sister, with her thinking she can treat your sister like some wild animal? Look, I'm never one to support the idea that a man needs to check his woman. The phrase is disgusting. As a big brother though, and as a person, you need to give your fiancé a swift and definitive reality check. This is not her mother's wedding, it's your wedding too, and she does not demean your sister like that. Ever. Not the a-hole, but you will be if you just bend over to all of this heinous frickery just because it's easier than arguing with her. 3 years down the line when MIL is running your lives and your wife is blaming you for it all, you'll be wishing you had fought back. Your relationship isn't lost, but you need to get back on the same page before you go any further. My dude, you said it so perfectly. Wonderful advice, OP, please FFS, take it. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my roommate after she accused me of saying the N-word? Throwaway because roommate knows my Reddit. I, 18 female, am currently dorming with another roommate, 19F, at college. Due to restrictions still going on in our area, students that are dorming can't go off campus too much. Since my family and I decided that it was safer for me to be in limited contact with them physically, I call them almost daily. So does my roommate. She speaks in English and sometimes Spanish when she calls her parents and siblings. I speak in Punjabi and Hindi, since my parents and I don't necessarily communicate in English at all. 3 days ago, I was on the phone with my mom. My roommate was in the room with me. We're both fine with talking to family while the other person is in the room. While my mom was on the phone with me, we started joking about something. All I remember is that I said something along the lines of, "Mom, I can't take college anymore. If I have to stare at a computer for 1 more hour, I swear my eyesight is going to go away permanently." For those that don't speak Hindi or Punjabi, the word for eyesight sounds like the N-word. It doesn't mean anything bad, it literally just means eyesight. I grew up speaking those languages. It didn't even register in my head until my roommate brought it up that the word even sounded like a racial slur. She started cursing me out the minute I said that. I quickly told my mom that I would call her back and asked my roommate what was wrong. At first, I was concerned. But then she kept saying that I said the N-word, and I didn't even process it until I thought really hard about what I said. Eventually, I did explain. I told her that what I said meant eyesight. When she didn't believe me, we pulled out Google Translate and verified. I even called a friend of mine in the same building as us and had her confirm. Apparently, she said she believed me after that. But today, the minute I woke up, she demanded an apology. She said I made her feel unsafe and that she couldn't trust me anymore. That is MY language. Not everything is a direct translation to a racial slur. After I told her that, she started cursing me out again. I started ignoring her at the moment, but then she threatened to tell the RA. I think she wrote an email to the RA, so I'm not sure what to do now. I called my parents and they told me that I was right. My roommate, on the other hand, told her own parents and they think that I deserve a penalty. She told her other friends and gave them my number, and I've been getting nothing but hateful messages and racial slurs being directed at me. At this point, I really don't know if I was in the right. I feel like I should have just sucked up my pride and apologized, but even then, it's not like I did anything wrong. I'm really conflicted about this. What if I make the same mistake later on in public? What would I do then? So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Update. Thank you so much for those that gave advice and reassurance. Is that the right word? I've come to the realization that much more has been happening. Sorry for annoying y'all with an unnecessary post. RA said it was a personal issue between roommates, and there was no need to involve her. I even showed her the texts I saved. In regards to other actions, RA has repeatedly been discriminatory to me before, telling me that I need to take off my turban. So as roommate, and she even goes as far as to jokingly pulling it off of my head. I will now be contacting a student representative and reporting both my roommate and the RA. Thank you all. Update 2. Since a lot of people asked, I used the word Niga. Some people commented the word Nazar, and while I do use it, in formal settings, or that's how I was taught, I use the first word more casually. Others have provided other words, Binai or Neen, I believe, and I've never heard of those words in my entire life until now. Perhaps it's due to regional differences, I'm not too sure. Share your best a-hole story in the comments. And don't forget, subscribe or I'll insert tiny little pieces of shattered glass directly into your pee hole.